कुम्भे पुनर्वसु जातो केरले चोळपट्टने कौस्तुभांशं धराधीशं कुलशेखरमाश्रये गुष्यते यस्य नगरे रङ्गयात्रा दिने दिने तमहं शिरसा वन्दे राजानं कुलशेखरम्. So we just have four more verses to go. 38, 39, 37, 38, 39, 40. Yeah. So today we'll look at 37, 38. Kshirasagara Taranga Shikaraha. Actually, I think it is Shikaraha. We'll see. Asara Kita Charu Murtaye Bhogi Bhoga Shayaniya Shayine Madhavaya Madhuvid Vishe Namaha. ध्यायन्ति ये विष्णुम् अनन्तम् अव्ययम् हृत्पद्ममध्ये सततं व्यवस्थितं समाहितानां सतताभयप्रदं ते यान्ति सिद्धिं परमां तु वैष्णवीम्. Who is the greatest Vaishnava? Paramam tu Vaishnavim. Or those who reach Vishnu's abode is a Vaishnava. Who remains in Vishnu's Satatam. The thought, the emotion, the idea of Vishnu, of Narayana or Vishnu is a Vaishnava, continues to remain in that. I've heard when I was very young, I've heard this one saying, I don't know if my mother remembers, about who's a Vaishnava. There is in an interesting way, there is a description. Tamillana, kokku polirpan, abdin cholli, though there is something that comes. I don't know if my mother remembers it. But the description of Vaishnava is someone who is very focused on his Ishta, on Vishnu. One who is amongst other things chooses only Vishnu or Narayana, does not get distracted and remains steadfast. Now it has been reduced to one image of Bhagavan. It's not necessary that this particular description should only be associated with a particular form or a particular image of Bhagavan. Whatever image we hold on to, whatever form we hold on to as the supreme form. Because at the end of the day, that which exists in all forms is Bhagavan. Although we say that there is a particular form he holds on to, or he has, that is a way of looking at it. But he is in all forms. So, Vaishnava in that sense is somebody who recognizes Vishnu as the primordial principle, conscious principle behind everything. Behind everything that is existing here is that conscious principle, and one who believes, and not just believes, one who lives his life in that realization is a Vaishnava. Okay. So 37th verse, he says, Kshirasagara Taranga Shikaraha. Kshirasagara Taranga. Kshirasagara is what? The milky ocean. Kshira is milk, Sagara is ocean, Taranga, waves. The waves of the milky ocean are spraying. Shikaraha are spraying. Whenever there is movement of water, you go closer to the sea, when there are waves that come, you'll definitely get some spray of water on you. Right? Even if you don't go close enough to get wet in the water, then the spray of water will fall onto you. So he's saying This Bhagavan is lying down on the Milky Ocean very beautifully. Bhogi Bhoga Shayaniya Shayine. He's reclining on this serpent, Anantanaga, and that Naga itself is resting on the Milky Ocean. It is on the ocean, and that ocean is having waves, waterbed Madri. So Bhagavan is having a beautiful waterbed. And that waterbed is, it is not like the waterbed that we've seen otherwise, which is protected. You can't, there you will not have the shikara. Water will not spray out. If it sprays out, you'll go to the shop and say there's water leaking from the bed. Here, from the waterbed, there is water. It's just the natural ocean he is resting on. And those sprays of uh, uh, sprinkles of water that are falling on him, they are like jewels on him. Is Tarakita. He says Asara Tarakita Charumurtaye. Those droplets of water that comes through the spray, that it appears like an ornamentation on him, on Bhagavan. Madhavaya Madhu Vidvishe Namaha. Madhu Vidvishe. Who is Madhava? The one who is Madhuripu, the one who's destroyed the enemy called Madhu. So, in this verse, the visualization of Narayana on the Kshira Sagara is described. How Narayana is resting there, and when he is resting, he is reclining. The ocean movement is there, and because of that ocean movement, obviously the Anantanaga will also move, and that is almost like a rocking bed, which allows Narayana to rest on it. Shaine, he is resting on it. And who is he? He is the one who has killed Madhu from the Madhu Kaitabha pair. It appears in Devi Bhagavatam also, and of course Srimad Bhagavatam, but Devi Bhagavatam, it appears how Vishnu comes and kills Madhu Kaitabha. Madhu and Kaitabha are two symbolic or metaphorical beings in showing Raga Dvesha. Kita means a germ. Kita means an insect. So Kaitabha is something that you despise. Madhu is something that you like. Madhu is honey. So when Bhagavan took that form to kill Madhu and Kaitabha, it means he removed Raga Dvesha. After removing Raga Dvesha, you recline like Ranganatha and you're resting. This is what happens when once Raga Dvesha is removed from our from the way we perceive the world. Like we were talking yesterday, Saundarya Lahari, the way we perceive the world, if Raga Dvesha is removed, then you are just relaxing, you're resting, you're doing what needs to be done, and you will be relaxing. There'll be no running around, there'll be no hankering, there'll be no struggle. Even if the ocean has waves, see here, Kshira Sagara, Milky Ocean, if you want to compare it to the Samsara Sagara, this is also a Sagara, that is also a Sagara. But on the Samsara Sagara, will you be able to relax and rest? The waves of that ocean will keep beating us up, down, up, down. Ayo, ayo, ayo. When you get thrown up, you don't know when you're going to land. And if you're going to land, you don't know if you're going to sink. Continues to happen, right? In our lives, something or the other happens to bother us, something or the other, it will be like, na chumma dane irne. I was living my life normally. Why suddenly this wave of uncertainty, wave of disturbance? எனக்கா நடக்கணும்? Why should this happen to me? I have been doing so much good for everybody. I have been doing so well. I have never thought unwell for anyone. I have never, even I have always wished good for the others. I've helped people. I have done this, that. Why should this happen to me? Bhagavan says this is the nature of the world. Samsara means it is something that keeps changing. If you hold on to something, even for 20 years, 30 years, I have done and everything seemed okay. Suddenly now things have shaken up. Sometimes I feel a life that is shaken up much earlier in your years is a better life than a life getting shaken up much later in your life. Because you would have experienced enough shaking, and then when you're towards your end, towards the older years, samsara or some sorrow, kalpaka, some sorrow. Crazy Mohan படம் பார்த்துட்டு இருந்தியா இப்போ? So that is the nature of the world. So if you have these turbulences up early on, towards the later years, it will probably settle down slowly, at least, or you are enough, you're tired of it. And you recognize that this is how it's going to be. In Japan, tsunami happens every now and then. We don't hear about it. But one tsunami happened somewhere in Southeast Asia and we became a big thing. Right? Because people are not prepared. But in Japan, there are areas where people are prepared. They know tsunami can happen anytime. So they are ready to evacuate. The township will be ready to evacuate. There will be one news that will come, oh, there's tsunami that's going to happen in the next week. There are indications of tsunami. Immediately they wrap up, clean up, go settle down somewhere else. And then tsunami news will come in that area and then they go somewhere else. That's it. You live your life like that. You know that anytime this can happen. Any wave can hit you. Any wave can submerge you. And that's all right. We recognize that. Once we recognize that early in life, it becomes easier later in life to not be disturbed too much by these waves. And then these waves are, sorry. Then when these waves move, the water sprinkling over you will just feel like a saral, Malai charal. When the weather is nice, there's about, um, you know, the rain is just about to fall, or the rain is falling. It's not flooding, right? It's just nicely falling. And then it was just hot before that, and you go and stand. And when the breeze blows, cold breeze blows, it carries a few droplets of the rainwater. It feels so pleasing. And you want to stand there and you just want to experience that few drops of water that falls on you. You're not wanting to go into the rain and get completely drenched, but you want to stand here and experience that joy of those sprays and sprinkling of water. Taranga Shikaraha. Those spray of sprinkles of water that you experience feels very joyful and relaxing. This is how life should be. We should experience life in this way. This is a metaphor. Metaphor to say life, when it moves, it will spray things on you. It will spray things on you. The other day we were on the highway, and we'd gone to Abu Dhabi for a customer meeting, and we were driving back. And Abu Dhabi, the roads are speeds are pretty high, 140 and so on. So when the car was moving, it suddenly, and fortunately there was a bit of a traffic on the highway because it is evening time, and the car was moving. Suddenly somebody crossed the highway. It's unbelievable, right? Highway, why would somebody run across? It's a highway. And the driver was driving us. He was shocked, and he pressed the sudden brakes and all of. He pressed the brakes, and fortunately, we didn't hit the guy. And he was not a lean, small young boy. He was a hefty, big, bulky fellow. And he ran across. And then one of our colleagues looked on the other side, saying his car was broken. So he had a broken car was broken down, and then he had to probably figure out help or whatever. But you don't run across the highway, right? It is insane. But this guy ran, and then suddenly this guy applied the brakes. But then immediately after he moved, uh, our driver took off immediately. Now you're thinking, if what could have happened there is probably we could have rammed into that guy, and the car would have halted suddenly, and two, three, four, I don't know how many, 10, 15 cars would have rammed up all the way from the back, right? One hitting into the other, the other. The 15th car at the back will be wondering, what did I do? I was driving normally. I didn't do anything. So a lot of times these things happen, right? I was going, my life was okay. Suddenly something from somewhere came and something happened, and I'm impacted by it. So you can't answer these questions because your karma, the prarabdha, all how it comes together, how it manifests itself, we have no idea. And it's worthless in trying to figure out how does it happen, from where did it come. Because if you try to resolve one, or you go to the source of one particular event, why it happened, by the time you get to that source and understand it, possibly there would be 10 other events that would have happened. How much time, energy, and life energies will you waste in just trying to figure out what's happening, why it's happening? So we just have to recognize that some of these things we'll never be able to understand. And when you come to that, I won't say resignation. In a form, it is a certain kind of resignation, but it's also some level of recognition that this is the way of things. Right? This is the way of things. You would have figured out, okay, today it's nice weather and everything is good, and I'll go and put vadam on the terrace. Suddenly, a whole bunch of crows will come from somewhere and completely the gali potato. What will you do? So you just have to deal with it. You say, oh my God, yeah, this has happened like that. That's it. What do you do? There's no lesson learned really in these things, right? Oh, you should have. Then somebody will come and say, you should have thought about this, you should have done this, you should have done that. People will come and advise. When something goes wrong, you will notice that there are 20 people around you will come and advise you. As though nothing goes wrong in their life. And that is because we think that we can control every situation. We need to be on top of every situation. You'll never be. You'll never be. You'll spend a lifetime, you'll never get on top of situations. We just have to recognize how to make this samsara sagara as kshira sagara. Oh, you've written a lot of stuff on the chat. I can't, I can't read that now. But um, when when this movement is happening, it's completely in our hands how to convert this movement into something as a joyful one. So what do you do? Madhu Kaitabha. Why does this churn, why does this movement keep happening within us, which keeps causing unrest? Because of Madhu Kaitabha. Primarily, Ragadvesha. I want this, I don't want this, I like this, I don't like this, I am for this, I am not for this. Opinions. Yesterday we spoke so much about opinions, creating opinions, ideas, and fixating ourselves to something. This is the only way, this is the way, this is mine, this is mine, this is how it is. Even to the extent to say that this is my spiritual organization, this is my guru, this is my teacher, this is my deity, this is my god. Everything to that extent, also fixating ourselves in all of this, it causes tremendous amount of ragadvesha continuously. So as long as we are stuck with ragadveshas, as long as we are stuck with this the movement of this world, you will continue to be we will continue to experience the joys and sorrows and ups and downs continuously. We'll keep getting hit. And that is why Kulasekara Alvar is creating this visualization in our head, saying he is Kshira Sagara Taranga. On the Kshira Sagara Taranga, Shikara, he's getting those sprays of this milky ocean water being sprinkled. Asara, it is the Asara Tarakita Charu Murtaye, this beautiful form of yours, which is bedecked with these sprinkles of water that has come from the Kshira Sagara. Bhogi Bhoga Shayaniya Shayine, you are lying, resting on this, your beautiful body is resting on this Ananta Shayina, which means Anantanaga. Also, the eternal bed. Ananta is the name of the serpent. Ananta is it also means eternal, which means you're eternally resting. Yoga Nidra. Madhu Vidvishe, which means you are also doing this, which means you're also going and removing and destroying Madhu Kaitabha, you're destroying continuously, you're destroying negativity, but you're also resting. How do you do this? How do you continue to fight against those negativities and also continue to rest? This is the balance that we need to find out within ourselves, within our daily transactions, daily engagements and movement. We must find that restfulness within us. Not necessarily just going to sleep. A lot of times sleep is just rest for the body alone. It is not complete rest, because if the mind is agitated, in aggression, continuous movement, as we were told earlier, it's like a car that is run for 300, 400 kilometers and you suddenly turn it off. What will happen? It will be hot. The engines will be really hot for a very long time. So like that, the mind keeps moving, churning, and go to fall asleep, and then this will continue. The heat will continue. So sleeping is only one way of resting, one form of resting. We should find other ways of resting, other ways of going into a peaceful state within ourselves. And that is why sadhana becomes important. That is why dhyana becomes important. That is why sankirtana becomes important. That is why japa becomes important. And I am not talking about busy people who are working every day and so busy and then tired and they don't know how to rest themselves. I am talking even about people who don't have much to do. Even such people, there are so many things the mind keeps generating and churning. Even if you don't have anything particular to act upon on a daily basis, or there's no real urgency to do things, you do things at your own pace. Even such people are not rested. We are not rested all the. We need to figure out a place where we find this joy and restfulness. And then we do whatever we want to do. Whatever we go distract ourselves in the world is also okay, but find that restfulness. Find that distracting. If you want to go and engage in the world for whatever reason, engage, and then find that restfulness. Throughout the day, we do this repeatedly. Find that restfulness, engage. Find that restfulness, engage. And this is what Bhagavan is also doing. There are 5 or 6 things that that came to mind the other day. One is sadhana, swadhyaya. Start with sankalpa. So you take a sankalpa, then you do swadhyaya, sadhana, seva, sankirtana. This all goes with S. So we do all of this on a regular basis. You make a sankalpa, you do swadhyaya, self-study, you listen, learn, read. You do sadhana. You do seva, means engage with people, do things that many a times it should, if we do things which are less beneficial to me, I don't think about the benefits to me, but I think about the benefits to the others. Seva, sankirtana, chant the name of the Lord, bhajans, sankirtanam. So we do this on a regular basis. Then there is this, you continue to have this beautiful restfulness. Same thing we spoke yesterday also. Divasa nishayoho antaracharim. Divasa nishayoho antaracharim. Saundari Lahari says, which means day is activity, night is restfulness. But you keep moving between activity and restfulness in a very seamless way. So in this verse he says, Kshira Sagara Taranga Shikara Asara Tarakita Charumurtaye Bhogi Bhogashaya Niyashayine Madhavaya Madhu Vidvishe Namaha Dhyayanti ye Vishnum Anantam Avyayam Hritpadma Madhye Satatam Vyavasthitam Samahitanam Satatabhayapradam Te Yanti Siddhim Paramam Tu Vaishnavi. So he says, one who thinks about Bhagavan, in his heart, there is abhaya. One who fixes his mind on Bhagavan and think about him in his lotus heart, then Bhagavan grants him fearlessness, abhaya pradam, samahitanam, abhaya, satatam, satata, abhaya pradam. Samahitanam, one who fixes his mind on Bhagavan all the time, he gets abhaya pradam. He receives abhaya pradam. Ye te yanti siddhim paramam tu vaishnavim. And such ones who meditate upon you attain to you, continue to think about you, attain to you. Paramam tu vaishnavim. Attain to this Vaishnava loka, Vishnu loka, Narayana loka. Vaikuntha. They attain to Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is this whole visualization is of Vaikuntha. Bhagavan resting there. So we think about this form and we rest ourselves. Now, very important part also to look at this is to lie down in an Ananta Naga is not easy. And nowadays we all look for, give me a hard bed so that the bed doesn't move. Right? If the bed moves and the bed then you get backache, neck ache, headache, all of that comes.
Memory foam.
Memory foam. The pillow should remember how I keep my head. Memory, pillow's memory. Memory foam. So these are ways in which we try to make sure that our body does not go through movement and too much of disturbance when we are sleeping, right? So which is why typically we look for hard bed, hard surface. But Narayana is resting on a Anantanaga. And imagine Anantanaga. That snake is not going to keep quiet, right? The body keeps moving, moving, moving. Those who have seen a snake from close enough, you'll notice the body itself, there is this continuous movement on the scales. It's never static. It's continuous, some level of vibratory movement that keeps happening. Imagine he's resting on that. It's continuous movement. And also, it's a cobra, most venomous, poisonous. So if you imagine this cobra has many heads and it's keeping its head on, and Bhagavan is sleeping there. By mistake, ஒரு எச்ச சொட்டு விழுந்துருது. அச்சச்சோ. By mistake, a drop of poison falls on Bhagavan.
சிவனை கூப்பிட வேண்டியதான்.
யாரா சிவனை சிவனை கூப்பிடு. So he's sleeping in such precarious conditions. Yet he is in Yoga Nidra. This is what you need to see. When you go to Ranganatha's temple, when you go to a temple where this Ranganatha is there, this is what occurs to me. See that he's sleeping on a serpent, which is continuously causes disturbance. That serpent matto, serpent is on hard ground, it's fine. Serpent is on an ocean. It's on an ocean which is even more unsettled, continuously moving even further. And the serpent is oozing out poison. Anytime it can ooze out poison, right? Because it's got venom in it. Not poison, venom. It's got venom. Now that venom can spill out anytime. Chandrama was sleeping in the unreserved compartment of a train. எப்போ யார் bag will fall on my head, I don't know. So imagine even in that condition, and so the snake can ooze out, venom can fall off at any time. Now I'm just wondering, think about how the imagery has been created by the rishis. And it's lived through so many aeons, right? So many millennia this image has remained. There must be something very, very profound to this image, correct? Otherwise, it seems fairly stupid to even imagine something like this. And it could have, give it a few years of time. You draw something today, how many years is something strange? How many years do you think it's going to remain? But this visualization has occurred to a rishi, or maybe rishis in similar fashion. They realize this is the representation of what samsara is, or this is the representation of this Ksheerasagara, which is whatever it is. It's an ocean, it keeps moving. There is a snake on it, which also keeps wriggling. Then it is filled with poison. And despite all that, there is this Narayana who's resting on it completely in Yoga Nidra. This is what we need to take. See, even the Narayana that we pray to is not in a very comfortable situation, right? If we think, anybody jaliya paduthu, it's not like saying that, oh, you are resting comfortably. No, he is not. He is not resting comfortably. He is choosing to be comfortable. Right? This is what we need to know. It is our choice. Do you want to be joyful? Do you want to be rested? Do you want to be peaceful? Is our choice. Absolutely our choice. Even under precarious conditions, can we choose to be so? This is what we need to, whenever we see Narayana or Ranganatha in a temple, this is what we should think about. Bhagavane, give me this ability to be like this under whatever circumstances. Let's not go there and stand and saying, why this, why that? Can you fix my life? Can you fix that for me? Don't ask him to fix anything. He himself is in a very precarious condition. நீ வேறப்பா கொஞ்சம் நகர்ந்தேனா என்ன ஆகும் தெரியாது.
ரணகணத்திலயும் ஒரு குதூகலம்.
So Bhagavan says, I don't know my neck. If I move, I don't know what will happen. You don't, you're coming and asking me to fix your life. He is showing that despite all this, despite all this, how do I stay? How do I be? This I can grant you. Satata abhaya pradam. I can give you abhaya pradam. I can give you abhaya. I can give you fearlessness. This I can give you. Don't tell me to change situations around you. That I cannot. And when you start becoming abhaya, you start becoming rested, you start becoming peaceful, then you will notice that things around change. See, this I've always said. When we start settling down, things around will settle. It will appear as though it's all settling down. For a realized being, the whole world is realized. Actually, chumma time pass ke he is going around and doing stuff. There's one Swami, very, very nice Swami, would say, why am I coming and teaching Upanishads and all? Because if I teach, then you guys call me home, you will give me some food. I'm coming only for that food. Whether you learn, you pick up, you do, it's all your thing. It is your karma, your fate. You want this, you do. According to me, there is nothing I need to change. I'm just doing it because there's nothing else to do. So it's like that. So we recognize that this is the way of the world, and we find that joy and peace and whatever it is in amidst the movement and the conditions that we are. This is what we ask Narayana. So these are the two verses. क्षीरसागर तरंग शीकराः आसारतार कितचारु मूर्तये भोगी भोग शयनीय शायिने माधवाय मधुविद्विषे नमः ध्यायन्ति ये विष्णुम् अनन्तम् अव्ययम् हृत्पद्म मध्ये सततं व्यवस्थितं समाहितानां सतताभयप्रदं ते यान्ति सिद्धिं परमां तु वैष्णवीम् कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि सदाशिवायेति समर्पयामि जगदम्बिकेति समर्पयामि सद्गुरुनाथायेति समर्पयामि हरि ओम तत्सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः देवा